Hello, good evening and welcome to Jeps Cross at the State Hockey Centre, where we are about to get ready for the next Friday Night Live. Tonight we have got Seacliff taking on Adelaide Uni. The men are up first, followed by the women. We were talking just before we came on air, Darren, that the men are a pretty relaxed bunch for the Seacliff side. They've been out there, they've been enjoying themselves, they've been throwing a football around. And big smiles all round. They're top of the table at the moment, so rightly so to be relaxed, Darren.
Yeah, I think undefeated and top of the table, Seacliff would be pretty comfortable where they are. They've held that spot for a couple of years now, and I think they really have a lot of confidence in their group and in their game.
Only 1 point between them at the moment, but Seacliff do have the game in hand, so if the results go right for them, they will push that lead out. Obviously, we've got the women later on, and Seacliff are the reigning premiers in the men's competition, so they are relaxed and they're happy with how they're going about the hockey. But again, we were talking about the fact that we are now in the middle of winter, and the weather has got a lot colder, and the teams now will start to struggle, and they'll test their depth as we get into the winter months and people start training, and also the big state programs will start to have an impact on these clubs. Yeah,
that's right. This is the crunch time of the year. It's when, as you said, the depth of the squads get really tested with sickness, illness. Also, with the state programs kicking in, you start seeing players having Tuesday nights off to manage the squad and so forth. People going away for holidays, so it starts to become a real management effort to get the team through this next month and as you head towards the finals.
Yeah, so we are getting ready. It's a wonderful night for hockey. It's clean, it's crisp, it's not much wind. The pitch looks in great condition as it always does. We're going to take a very short break. We'll be right back with you just after this short video, and we'll see you soon.
See Premier League hockey
in real time.
In real time.
In real time.
Good receive there by Simon Weld.
And in front of the goal now.
Every goal.
Every goal.
Every goal.
The ball, penetrating run, open circle, 1-2 play.
Every save.
Every save.
James Minton has the opportunity, great save.
Get straight into the circle, off a stick, and well saved by Amy Hammond.
Every tackle.
Every tackle.
Gets the attack into the circle, nice tackle there.
Live.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Runs with pace, to battery 2. Looks for a quick shot off the back post.
Net 25 here.
Get around it. Get around it.
Get around it.
And welcome back to the State Hockey Centre in Jeps Cross for this PL Friday Live. Every goal, every save, every tackle, every PL Friday Live. We're on round 14 of the Premier League competition. Seacliff Tigers taking on the Adelaide University Blacks. Have a look at the table. Seacliff sitting on top, played 11, won 9, and drawn 2. 31 points. Adelaide Hockey played 12, won 10. They've lost 2, and that's the big number there, and they're on 30 points. So that's the big difference in the top 10 goal scorers. Just have a look, and Seacliff have Lachlan Busico. He's up there. He's in 4th. He scored 8 goals in 11 games, so he'll be one to look out for tonight. A couple of things coming up on Wednesday. What's very important is the state teams, the Hotshots and the Suns, will be taking on an under-21 side, so we have more hockey this week. Bumper week of hockey this week, so join us on for that on the Wednesday night. We also had 2017 Live, Love, Play Hockey campaign is now running. Darren Nineke, sat next to me, your video was featured during the week. Beck Anderson, Justin Siebert, Darren Nineke and Tom Wycherley. It's going great guns apparently.
Yeah, some great videos. The crew have been really busy all week. I've been out here and seen some of that stuff going on, obviously my own interview, but great to see Justice and Tom and Beck talking about their journeys through hockey. And isn't young Tom Wycherley a little gun?
He's certainly one to watch for the future. We keep talking about this, and we talk about people we may see in the Olympics in the future. Obviously Japan in 2020 is the next one, and pretty sure we'll see some South Australians over there. When you talk about South Australians playing hockey, we have Jane and Carrie, who are over with the Hockey Roos. They're playing in Belgium. Knocked off Belgium in the semi-finals. They knocked off the hosts, which is not bad. It's
good 1-0 win for the Hockey Roos, so they're obviously up and about, and they've got their campaign on track, so that's great to see for those girls.
Good way to go about it. If you're going to beat someone, beat the hosts, so that will see them through to the final. The 2017 Best and Fairest is coming up as well. That's looming on us. So we've seen basically everybody now, and when we talk about who we've seen, there are players from every club who are looking at the best and fairest, but one you probably can't go past, and we'll see him again tonight, is the accountant, who is Glyn Tamlin.
Mr. Tamlin at the back there. Yes, he's a formidable player and a key part of Seacliff's defensive lineup.
Solid at the back as usual. We look forward to seeing him get around it tonight. Best and fairest night is it's a wonderful night for hockey in South Australia.
Yeah, I think a couple that we could see from Seacliff's defence. Mikey Wells as well. It's I don't know if a goalie's ever won the best and fairest. They may have previously, but Mikey's an outstanding keeper, and I think Seacliff have only conceded 7 goals for the year. So great defence. But Todd Kiddo recently gone overseas, and tonight we'll see how they organise themselves in the absence of Todd.
He's gone to Vanuatu. He's been appointed the game development officer of Vanuatu. That's there are worse places in the world to go and play your trade, isn't there, Darren? Obviously, as well, we probably need to talk about Dan Mitchell, he's going to be there or thereabouts. He's been very, very impressive.
Yeah,
and,
Dan's a bundle of energy, and he is one of those guys who will just take on the play and look to break things apart, and always looking a keen eye for goal.
So as we settle in for this one, Adelaide University will be in the black shirts with the white V. Seacliff in the Technicolor dream coats. There's a bit of teal in there. There's a bit of black, bit of yellow, bit of white. They've got the lot. We've talked about this before. They're an amalgamation of a number of clubs. I know that Paul Finney is one of our umpires. And the other umpire, do you recognise?
Yeah, it looks like Dylan over there.
Dylan Evans is over on the other side. So we all get ready to go. Adelaide Uni will be attacking the left of your screen. Seacliff will be attacking the right. She's a cold one, but be warm enough going around there. Clear and still again. The weather's been like that in Adelaide over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, it's a beautiful night for hockey.
So as always, we are live and we are interactive. If you have any questions, send them through. We're with Darren Nimke, who's the stats master. And we are off and running, and we'll see whether we set off with our tails on fire like we normally do for the men's games. Mitchell is obviously feeling the cold. He's gone for the long sleeves tonight. Tamlin, as per usual, will sit at the back and quarterback from there, and Al Oliver looks like he's going to work on that left wing. Wonderful pressure from Mitchell, and he gets the free hit.
You can see Seacliff have started really well, just controlling the ball from the beginning and then immediately putting the university defence under pressure.
It's actually more of a controlled start than we're used to seeing on a Friday night from the men's game. Normally we go at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but there's a semi-break on here. Harvey Lewin will give chase, but the ball beats everyone. Sorry, that's Harrison Lewin. It's his debut Premier League season. We're in the number 13 for Adelaide Uni.
We see young Connor Richmond Spouse on the ball here, so he's just recently come back into the team, and it's a timely thing for Seacliff with Toddy going away.
Turned over, and Adelaide Uni threatened their first real circle entry, but dealt with straight away by the imperious Tamlin. Good, very good high pressure from Adelaide Uni in the opening minutes of this game.
I think that's the way you've got to tackle Seacliff, is to just go out and really try and take the game to them. But whether teams can sustain that is where we've seen teams not being able to sustain it for 70 minutes against Seacliff.
Again, as we've seen, and we generally see, they'll give you the room to get to the circle, but as soon as we get to that circle entry, most teams will shut each other down now. And this is 1 versus 2, so as we expect a very, very close match through this one. Overhead flick will manage to work its way through. I apologise. Thank you, Darren. Adelaide Hockey Club are in second. Adelaide University, unfortunately, not in second place. But it's been tight, and they're certainly playing above their position at the moment.
I think you're right about that pressure in the circle, and I think tonight...
As Seacliff will get the first entry, and Mitter is at the back post, and there is goal number 1. So Seacliff have come out early, and they've scored the first one. Mitter was in the right place. Daniel Mitchell. Don't think it was him who got the goal, though. I think that might be Matt Bird.
Looked like it might have been Al Oliver here.
Al Oliver?
The pinch and the steal, and this is Al at his creative best, and always latches onto these loose balls, and very aggressive attacking player.
Stu Sutter came out to try and cover off Mitchell, who was on the back post, and unfortunately left his near post open. And Oliver could find the gap.
Yeah, it's such an important part of the game to to have a midfield that is capable of scoring goals, and I think with Seacliff, with Al, with Dan Mitchell when he's back there, Matt Morton and Lockie Buzzico, they've got these real threats that can come through and open up the game and score goals.
It's a nice trap from the air, and Adelaide University will look to launch something, and unfortunately they can't get that through, but I know this is something you'll be interested with, and for me that was the first real circle entry for Seacliff, and it's resulted in a goal, so I'm going to be happy with that. Mark DeLauro, the coach, he'll be happy with that, I think. 1 entry, 1 goal.
You can't ask for more than that.
Seacliff happy to build from the back. So they now have that 1 goal cushion. Still a lot of hockey to be played, but they have that cushion. They can sit back if they want to now. Adelaide Uni have gone quickly, and they'll get that circle entry. It's just popped up in the air off Temlin's stick, so it'll just be a long corner. He's outside.
It's always nice as a coach or as a team to get that early settling goal, isn't it? When you kind of feel like you know how the game's going to start to play out then.
And let's be honest, it's good for spectators as well, because it will open this game up now, because Adelaide Uni will have to go and look for a goal. That one is thrown in, but too high, it beats everybody.
I think the other main threat we'll have, to look at Seacliff tonight when they get into that circle is they'll be looking to win corners, because they've got such a good corner set up.
Nice and calm in that midfield as well. Lovely turn, and he just missed his pass. He turned out of trouble wonderfully.
It's Maxi Bale in the middle there for Uni, number 26. Lots of experience of Max, and he's having a great season. Scored 4 goals this year, so really been in the thick of things for Uni.
Lad from Port Lincoln. So he's one of the many talented country players. Port Lincoln obviously won the country championships, I think. We've settled a lot quicker. Normally there's a good 10-15 minute period within these Friday night games where it all goes a bit haywire and it's all a bit rushed, but both sides have settled in.
Yeah, I think just listening to the game, often you can tell by how players are communicating on the pitch, and you can tell that it's really clear communication. So yeah, I think they've settled very early into the game.
So Oliver again will get that circle entry. That's popped up and hit himself in the face, but we have our first short corner of the night. Paul Finney showing that one.
So that's their 3rd circle entry and 1 goal so far in a corner. So that's Jogger would be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, they're doing well, and Al Oliver really is starting to really look dangerous every time he gets control of the ball.
Yes, he would be a menace for an opposition coach.
So it looks like Cooper Powerty is going to make his way over to inject this one. Looks like they're going to set up for a double battery. Adelaide Uni going with a 3-1 defensive setup. So there is the double battery. Mitchell is there or thereabouts. Good injection, and there's just a little bit of variation in it. It's chopped over the top. Adelaide University can breathe a sigh of relief and come away with the 16-yard hit. It's almost like there's a mould for sweepers, big, tall, rangy gentlemen. Adelaide Uni have David Holland back there, 43-year-old.
You certainly got to be mobile and quick around the back these days. It's such a fast game, so yeah, I think it suits big athletic people who can cover the ground quickly as the ball is shifted from side to side.
We see that maturity level as well. The more mature players tend to find themselves in that spot.
I was speaking to David before the game, and he pointed out that himself and the goalkeeper Stuart Sutter were two of the elder statesmen of the competition.
We don't have any information on Stuart Sutter. Don't even know how old he is. That's a lovely clap out of the air, but Adelaide University will take over. Then get shut down, but they'll work away onto this right wing. Cooper Powdy dispossessed again. David Holland has just been recently appointed to the Hockey SA board, so make sure that we'll say nice things about him.
I've been really impressed with how Seacliff have started with their ball movement tonight. I think it's been very positive ball movement and very clean ball handling.
It's a good overhead flick. Played to himself, but again shut down by Seacliff. A few loose passes from both sides. Neither team is really getting the stick on the ball and taking control of that midfield just yet. Holland will go all the way back and they will start again. It's a very good trap under the circumstances. Tried to turn inside and caught the foot of Oliver. University will have a free hit in a promising position. See him looking for the outlet pass to the right. Happy to go back to keep possession to Holland.
There certainly is an air of caution, isn't there, about the way that both teams are approaching this start?
You don't want to give up possession, and you see that. And a couple of loose passes, and Oliver again will get his head up and start making his way to the University goal. Allowed to carry it a long distance to find Mitchell at the back, and Mitchell had a swing. I think Mark Unisek will be trying to find out ways to shut Oliver down. He's sending a message out with an interchange. At the moment he's got free range and he's allowed to run wherever he wants to go. Again, another turnover. That one's fed through. Good running, and he's one-on-one with the keeper. Keeper does well though. The pressure again from Seacliff is there, and every time an Adelaide player gets their head up, they are surrounded by the aquamarine shirts of Seacliff.
Yeah, it was Reuben Wild for Adelaide Uni in that occasion. Looked up and saw three blue shirts around him, so you're right, the pressure's on from Seacliff at the moment, but Uni are holding up quite well, I think.
The speed on the counter-attack is impressive as well, but Adelaide Uni have the outlet and just very, very nearly got it through. Lachlan Buzzico managed to cut it out. Big challenge in the midfield, umpires letting them play.
It's that was Lockie's third involvement in the half so far, and he's they've got a very strong spine, the Seacliff team, with Glynn, Lockie, Mitchell's up front. So they tend to force opposition teams out wide and around the flanks. Very hard to break Seacliff down through the middle of the pitch.
So that one is thrown across, just couldn't quite get it under control. Good communication then, just saying let it go, and we'll start from the 16-yard hit. Lachlan Buzzico, 8 goals on the year. At the moment he's playing a midfield position. If he scored 8 goals from midfield, you've got to be happy with that production.
Yeah, well, he's a very high quality drag flicker. So Seacliff have a lot of threats on their corners through flicking options and deflection options, and Lockie's certainly one of their stronger flicking options.
So Jackson Davey has let us know that Alan Butler's nickname is the Big Kahuna. So we'll keep an eye out for him. Number 40 for Adelaide.
There's a few interesting nicknames out there. I won't go through
He's
them
just
all.
down in front of us here. Looks like he's about to enter the fray. The Big Kahuna.
I'm sure Alan would love that.
As we see, Butler, and he'll just throw that one into the circle, and they'll finally get there. And very nearly an attempt on goal, but Oliver, who is here, there, and everywhere at the moment, manages to get rid of that one, and then will carry and keep carrying and get his head up and find an outlet on the left-hand side. The speed of transition from Seacliff is incredibly impressive. As soon as they start carrying it forward, they get numbers in front. Tamlin, as per usual, doesn't waste possession. Still there for Seacliff. Little reverse pass just off the foot of the University player. So they'll have the free hit just outside the circle. Oliver with lovely 3D skills, and there's the swing, and still bouncing around inside there. And there's another short corner. Oliver has taken this game and is driving it at the moment. It's dangerous every time he gets anywhere near the ball.
I think you're right, Mark. Usnik, for the uni coach, will certainly be scratching his head looking for ways that he can nullify Al. Whether it's one player that can tag him or a number of players that have to go with him through the course of the night.
We'll go to the double battery again. Matt Bird will inject this one. It's gone to Busacek and he looked for the drag flick. It didn't happen, and he's been left behind, and that one is lifted over the top. Just lost it. They were going for the drag flick.
I think that's both corners now seem to have broken down at the top, don't they?
Yeah, so hyper critical, but Mark Deloro will want to fix that. Don't want to waste too many chances. And if we're looking for the magic 33%, they must score with the next one. They'll go out to Bird. He just dropped it inside. He didn't really look. He was hopeful that there would be a Seacliff player there. And here again, for that miracle ball. Seacliff much happier to pass through the midfield, whereas University are looking for a direct ball. That one is fired across and goes all the way through.
It was an interesting part of the game there. We saw Glyn Tamlin push forward for the last couple of minutes, and looking at the back four, and to not see Glyn or Todd in their back four for probably the first time this year, where neither of those guys has been there, it really shows the depth of Seacliff, and they're being, forced to find different ways to maintain their form. And I think it will be interesting to see how Jogger and the team go about that.
Of course, we're not far away from the AHL for 2017, which is why we're having the warm-up games on Wednesday, where we'll see probably a few of these players, Daniel Mitchell included, as we see him on our screen. We'll see a few of these players on Wednesday night, and they'll take on the under-21 side, but really going to test the depth of some of the clubs as the Suns and the Hot Shots program gets going. A nice pass through, but there's a lot of long balls from Adelaide University, and Seacliff are a very good side, and we'll just cut them out.
Yeah, it'll force Seacliff to make sure that they remain organised and vigilant at the back, so that these counter-attacking threats that Uni are throwing at them, don't get out of hand.
Adelaide University had a period of good pressure in the opening minutes of this half, and then the goal was scored. And they've dropped off a little bit. It's a lovely turn, and they'll come out on this right wing to Mitchell. Mitchell will get his head up and just dump it down into that right corner to Bird. He'll take on and he'll make a circle entry. He'll keep going, and there's the ball, and Stutter again managed to get in the way, but here is that third short corner. A little bit too easily for the Seacliff players, finding space at the moment.
Yeah, we saw there again Lockie Buzzico involved in the lead up. You know, always high quality touches with Lockie. You know, high percentage outcomes. So yeah, just him flowing forward and setting up these plays is working well for Seacliff.
So Matt Bird will inject it again. Buzzico is there in one of the batteries. See whether they can be a bit cleaner with the skill on this one. A little late shift. Here is the drag flick. There's the flick, and it's a very, very good save from Stutter. Got that big right leg out of there and kicked it away. University will have a free hit and be able to relieve some pressure.
So we've got a fall away press or a 3/4 press here from Seacliff, so not a lot of direct pressure on the ball.
He attempted overhead flick, didn't quite make it through. Butler again with a lot of pressure on him, and Seacliff will keep that pressure going. Just by way of thank you, Barge smacks it back at Butler. Bird will go to work on that left-hand side, turn inside. Appeal for the block, it's still bouncing around in there, and Bird has kept going, and he'll get a circle entry and he'll get a shot on goal. Just a corner, I think. No, short corner, there it is. Mr. Finney just adding to the drama of the occasion, making us wait for it. And someone asking who scored the goal, and we think it was Tom Oliver. Oh, sorry, Al Oliver.
Al Oliver, yeah.
Lovely little mazy run on his own and found a gap at the near post to go one up. Again, the late shift from Mitchell and now Buzzico, and there's the deflection, and there's the goal from Mitchell. So Seacliff will go 2 goals up. That was a well-worked routine. Showed the drag flick, and Mitchell just ran around the back, found himself in that soft spot in front of the keeper. As we see the replay, the late shift from Mitchell, and he just got himself in the right place, put that stick down and got the deflection that he needed. Mark Delora will be happier with that routine.
Yeah, like we were saying before, you know, lots of 3 solid flicking threats from the top, but also, you know, as we saw there, deflection threats as well. You know, they're very well versed in these things, the Seacliff boys, and you know, they've played together for a number of years and practiced these routines, and have just shown that they're able to execute it when it counts.
Al Oliver gets his head up early and will look out to that left-hand side to Matt Morton. Happy to come all the way back to Kitto, Jordan Kitto.
The remaining Kitto, we shall refer to him
probably
as.
looking forward to going on holiday and visiting his brother.
I think Todd told me that he was going to pack his surfboard and his hockey stick, so he left this morning.
That's it.
Yeah, and that was it.
What more do you need? So Malcolm Barron asking whether there's any Kittos playing tonight, just as we talk about Jordan Kitto. University do well shutting that one down. Waited for an advantage, there was none there.
This is how Seacliff like to control the game, setting up a big back 4 with 2 fullbacks. They shift the ball out and they can just control it and shift the ball from side to side. You heard Mikey Wells, the goalkeeper, you know, yelling out, "Boys, let's shift it," and not go too direct. Again, we see the fall-away press from Seacliff, the three-quarter press.
Good overhead. I am seeing there, I'm just noticing as well that Harrison Lewin he has a tagger. So Jamie Kreku, the number 12 for Seacliff, is basically following him everywhere. It's Jamie Kreku's birthday today. Happy birthday, Jamie. Mitchell will get his head up and play it out to that left-hand side. To Morton. Morton inside. Gets the return and Mitchell's in front. Mitchell scores. Wonderful control. Waited for Sutter to go down. And then lifted it over the top. The third Seacliff goal of the night. Mitchell's second. He's on a hat-trick.
Yeah, another counter-attacking play there by the Seacliff boys. That's a beautiful pass out wide.
That one looks like it could be cut out. That one's across and Mitchell was close to his hat-trick. Got in front of the defender, got the deflection. Only thing missing was the wrong side of the post. Ben Batts with the interception and the good ball across. And Mitchell's on the verge of having a night out at the moment.
They're certainly on the ball tonight, the Seacliff boys. They've had 10 circle entries for 3 goals.
Mitchell looks like he's come to play. Another circle entry and another short corner. We talked last week about getting into the T of the circle and how dangerous it is when you get down there. It's where a lot of the short corners are given away. Seacliff will set up. Obviously the last short corner was a goal to Mitchell. He'll be chomping at the bit to get another opportunity.
He's always hungry midi for goals, so yep, I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
One deflection, one reverse stick lifted over the keeper. All he needs is the simple forehand. There's the drag flick and there's a deflection and there's a goal. So Seacliff go 4-0 up in a blink of an eye, and after a shaky start with their short corner routines, they've really set into it now. So Morton with the goal. Wholesale interchanges from the Seacliff side. Now Oliver will intercept and he'll take on Holland. And he'll just go past him as if he wasn't there and firing to hit the crossbar. Wonderful run from Oliver. Change of direction at paces. Sight to behold.
He certainly looks like he's enjoying himself out there tonight now, doesn't he?
It's a personal battle between him and Mitchell as to who's going to take the biscuit to the best on ground at the moment. We're inside the last 10 minutes of this first half. As we have another look at that, and Oliver just drifted past Holland and he's hitting the crossbars an impressive feat. Don't think he could do it again. Seacliff keeping that pressure on and they'll come back in again.
I think Jogger would be really happy with the way the Seacliff guys have gone about this tonight. You know, very disciplined hockey against a lower ranked opponent, sure, but still going out there and you know, playing really thorough professional hockey.
You would suggest as well that the only cause for concern he had would have been just that they were a little bit loose on the short corner routines early on, but they've made up for that and they've been very good in the last couple. Again, they get the head up as he goes hurdling his way through. We'll pick up the free hit. Lachlan Bussico will make his way to that byline and throw it across. Adelaide Uni will get the free hit and be able to come away. So from an Adelaide Uni point of view, they've just got to keep going and working on their shape and keep working. They're playing against the reigning champions and top of the league at the moment, so it's a tough Friday night at the office for them. So we get a look at the accountant.
just another night in the office for Glyn.
It's a good ball out to the birthday boy, Jamie Kreku. Just gets dispossessed. But he gets the free hit and back they go. They are happy to start from the back and they will look to go around the horn up to Tamlin. Was just in front of him and he'll turn that one over. As we approach the last 5 minutes of this, Mark Usenek will, I think the message just has to be just keep playing your hockey. Let's not worry about the scoreboard.
Yeah, he'll have things, certain things that he wants the group to do, and the group themselves, will have certain things that they want to achieve in this second half.
It's turned over and the counter-attack is on if he can work it through, and he's found Bats. Bats will shift it out to the left and it'll go back to Bats, and Bats could not get control of it. He'll want that one back. I wish it was instant replay for him and he could just take it back, but a good counter-attack again. Unselfish work from Seacliff.
That was young Maxi Menadue on the left wing there, the man they called a sniper. It's in his first year and he's really found his way into the side this year. He got an early opportunity through absences and so forth, but proved that he could play at this level, and he's done a really good job, young Max, to work his way into the side this year.
Adelaide Uni will go back. Malcolm Barron saying Jordan Kitto and Jamie Kay were in the Metro 1 All-Stars 2011. That's a good memory.
Yes, Malcolm and I might have been in that team as well, I think.
Oh, there you go. So it was just compliment fishing. That's what we were after. Well, there you go, Malcolm. Congratulations on your All-Star run out in 2011. Glad to have you with us. If you are watching this broadcast on Facebook, brought to you by Hockey SA and powered by Spacequake Sports, give us a like, make sure you share the video. Important thing is as well, you're not limited to one like. You can press that button as many times as you want, fill the screens with thumbs and hearts and whatever it is you want to show us. So Adelaide Uni will look to mount a meaningful attack. They make their way out to that right hand side and get to the byline and get their circle entry. It's bouncing around in there and playing on. Seacliff managed to keep it in. Malcolm Barron is watching from Melbourne. Imagine it's cool over there. It's a cold night tonight.
And just in that last circle entry by Uni into the Seacliff circle, and you just saw again something that Seacliff would be really happy about is the circle defence. Uni weren't able to find the foot and win a corner, and so little bits of discipline that Jogger will be really looking for his team to capitalise on tonight.
Lovely ball out to that left hand side, and they're in a dangerous position again. And Mitchell was there and thereabouts again. Matt Bird was in attendance as well. That one is fired in, but no one can get a stick on it. It says it's 11 degrees at the moment, but it feels a lot cooler than that. Broken the triple figures. We have 100 devices watching from all around the country. Glad you could join us.
And Seacliff still persisting with that three-quarter press, which is not putting a lot of direct pressure on the ball, and I think that's an area that Mark might speak to the team about at half-time and just say, how can we exploit this opportunity a little bit more?
Playing a very, very high striker as well, Seacliff, so they're giving themselves a huge amount of space throughout the pitch because can't let those people go. It's been clinical tonight as well. Birthday boy will go back to the accountant. A lovely little slide pass out to his right hand side. Jason Rademski, and he'll go down the line.
Another one of the Riverland boys, big Jace. Number 24.
Another circle entry from Seacliff, and Adelaide University will get the benefit from Mr. Finney, be able to clear. Lovely circle entry. That's a great tackle in there from Alan Butler, the big kahuna, but haven't managed to get rid of it. Another good tackle. We're in the final 2 minutes of this one. There we get into that, and there's another good circle entry. It's come to Mitchell at the top of the circle. He'll fire at goal, and Sutter is there, and another shot at goal, but didn't really get all his stick on it. You would have put a little bit of money on Mitchell hitting the target then, but good save from Stuart Sutter. So we are close to the end of this one. We have somebody who's joined the stream and going to join in the how far away are you watching hockey from. He's about 3 meters to my right. Just in range. Part of the Spacequake Sports crew. Enjoying this Friday night hockey. Well shut down just outside the circle. Well, Uni need to keep that pressure. They have fits and starts where they can get that pressure around the circle and try and hold Seacliff in, but when Seacliff break, they break very, very well. And as per usual, even though we see a free hit down in the Seacliff end, Seacliff strikers will really go high and stretch this entire pitch up. Peth Rich is watching in Hamilton, New Zealand. Daniel Egan, Boston. And that will be that for half time as Seacliff dominate the first half, winning this one 4-0. Al Oliver was impressive, and every time he got the ball he started to cause all sorts of problems for the Adelaide Uni defence. And Dan Mitchell's having a day out. Scored 2 goals, he's on the hat-trick, so he'll look forward to getting that hat-trick at some point in the second half. We will just step away, and we will be right back with you after this short break.
Back in primary school, late 70s, Terry and Trevor Smith turned up at primary school and gave us all hockey sticks, and we ran around on the oval, and I think I played that Saturday, so been playing ever since. Kind of wandered into coaching. I guess, you know, us hockey people, hockey's a sort of a lifelong thing, and there's so many roles that you can get into. Once you stop playing, you know, you can be an official or a coach or an umpire, and I just chose to get into coaching as the way to stay involved. Yeah, I've been lucky. You know, I've coached some state teams and been away to China with the Australia A men's team, so that was a really fortunate experience. Yeah, a couple of trips to Perth, New South Wales with AHL teams, so yeah, they're probably the big trips. With the Australia A men's team, I went to China as an assistant coach and performance analyst. So we were there for just over a week and played 5 games against the local Chinese team. So some of the skills that I picked up while I was away was working as the performance analyst and learning a lot about the software and the different techniques for analysing games. So we were doing live coding during the game and was able to bring that back and bring it into hot shots programs. So I went away with the hot shots to Melbourne and then just continued on with that, and this year I've really tried to take that to the grassroots level and work on performance analysing the local Premier League games. So some of the tools that are helping, like I guess there's a whole lot of things, like there's the devices, you know, that are much easier to get now, like iPads or your phone, and then the software that comes with that. So different performance analyst tools. I'm using Longo Match. I'm an Australian or Australasian ambassador for Longo Match, and that software allows you to tag events during the game that you've captured through video, and then do in-depth analysis in a game and across a season. I'm using it for all the Premier League games, so working with the Adelaide Hockey Club mostly, and doing it to code individuals and team performances during the games. I'm going to have a role in terms of helping standardise some of the performance analysis stuff across the AHL programs and 21s programs. Yeah, so from capturing the data in these tools, you can then sit back and easily access moments from within a game, either tactical moments or structural moments or even key individual things, and build up libraries. And then you can sit down with those players and take them through moments really quickly and revisit things that have happened and get the players or the coaches' perspectives on those things. We've seen so many great players, teams and games. Unfortunately, a lot of the footage, the stats, the information of all of that is not existent. And the joy for me is that through what I'm part of at the moment is that the legacy of today's players and teams will persist for the future.
And welcome back to a crisp Jeps Cross at the State Hockey Centre. So Darren, we've just seen your Live, Love, Play video, and we've seen some wonderful drone footage. And just talk us through a little bit more about what you're doing and what you hope to bring to hockey in South Australia.
Yeah, sure. So yeah, the drone footage was special this week. John Schultz, who is an Adelaide legend who owns the drone, and I came down and we got some really great footage of the under 21 girls training. Yeah, I guess what I'm trying to do this year is, my history in hockey is around 40 years, and I've seen so many great games and clubs and players, but as I said in my interview, I know that a lot of that stuff's been lost, and it's a real shame that people won't get to see some of the great players and the great games of the last 40 years. But today what we can do is to collect as much of this video and information as we can and share it and maintain it, and that's really what I'm passionate about.
The level of technology that can be used by even amateur sport now is just raised the bar, and I'm sure we'll get a little suggestion box and we'll just stick a little suggestion in there for Spacequake to get themselves a drone. We will be right back with you for the second half after this short video.
See Premier League hockey in real time.
In real time.
In real time.
Good receive there by Simon Weld.
And in front of the goal mouth.
Every goal.
Every goal.
Every goal.
The ball penetrating run, open circle, 1-2 play.
Every save.
Every save.
James Minton has the opportunity. Great save.
Get straight into the circle, off a stick, and well saved by Amy Hammond.
Every tackle.
Every tackle.
Gets the attack into the circle. Nice tackle there.
Live.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Right here on Hockey SA.
Runs with pace. To battery 2. Looks for a quick shot off the back post.
Net 25 here.
Get around it. Get around it.
Get around it.
And we are back for this second half, and Darren, obviously we've seen how the work that you're doing with the stats, so if you just take us through that first half, I imagine the stats are heavily in Seacliff's favour.
Yeah, pretty one-sided first half really. 17 circle entries to 4 for Uni. Of the 17 circle entries, Seacliff got 12 shots away and had 5 penalty corners for a total of 4 goals. So a really high quality return from them. Uni, on the other hand, they're just going to have to keep nipping away and creating more pressure on that Seacliff defensive third.
Maybe Jackson Davey was in the half-time huddle, and it would appear that they have some inside information. They say look out for Big Sauce, which is Max Bale, making his way forward in the second half to give the university a little bit of an attacking presence. Seacliff will want to start as they go. Obviously they are up there with the Adelaide Hockey Club, Seacliff. Goal difference is always going to be a thing, so they want to keep going as we get our first short corner of the second half. Daniel Mitchell just nonchalantly walks up to it. The big thing that we've seen from the short corner routines from Seacliff is that there's just so many threats around the top of the circle when they set themselves up. Go with that double battery again. Matt Bird will continue with the injection duties. That one is fired in. Good trap, good drag flick, good save. So Sutter's having to work for his money tonight. But he's doing well.
Yeah, you saw him there watching the ball really well and making a good save, so I think he's had a pretty good night overall.
Wonderful first time pass and tried to get that circle entry. Adelaide Uni have done well and they tried to play themselves out of it and got themselves caught. That's found its way across and that will just go across the front from Bird. We have talked a lot in the past about playing out of defence rather than just lashing it away, but got caught in possession there right at the top of the circle and put his goalkeeper under pressure again.
Yeah, and you see that swarm mentality. I mean, Seacliff are up and about, you know, they've got their tails up and they're playing good hockey, and so they're going to get lots of pressure at the ball. So, you know, I think overhandling the ball a bit in your own defensive half can be dangerous against a team like Seacliff. You really want to get the ball up the other end and put pressure on Seacliff's defence.
The conservation of energy is impressive. They'll play at their own pace, and then when they need to, they can just lift the pace of the game. And happy to play around the back and find an open stick. Matt Morton, who scored the 4th goal, worked hard and gets it back to Mitchell eventually. Mitchell gets his head up. See with the good players, Mitchell and Oliver and Tamlin, as soon as they receive possession, see their head flick up straight away. Good strong challenge, but again he's been dispossessed at the top of the circle. Oliver will get his head up and he'll make that circle entry, and excellent challenge from Holland. Huge wingspan.
He's a big man, Dave. It was a great tackle though, wasn't it? He just
solid.
Timed it well and took Al out of the equation there.
And then, as we talked about, took his time and found a simple pass to a teammate. Don't forget as well, in the July school holidays, we'll have the holiday hockey clinics. Need to get in quick because the early bird closes on the 30th of June, and that's not far away at all.
You see here how Seacliff really stretch the game open when they're outletting.
So that one is fired across and got a deflection on it, but Sutter again did well.
There's a lot of pressure in the first 5 minutes there from Seacliff, who've started the second half as they finished the first half. So
and that's what Mark Deloria will want to see. He won't want to see them put the cue in the rack and take it easy. They'll really want them to just keep the foot on the throat and keep going and get another circle entry. This time Adelaide University will be able to come away with it. So if you are watching at home and you're listening to us right now, it is Olympics Day. Not limited to the players who we are seeing today. Who from South Australia would you like to see go over to Tokyo wearing the green and gold?
Well, I think obviously we've got Jane and Carrie in the mix, but you know, Mickey Spano would have to be a real chance, you know, in the development squad, and unfortunately we won't see her tonight. But you know, she's looking really good, and yeah, she'd be someone who's really in the mix for that honour.
Certainly, if you're watching at home and you have an opinion on who you think we might see in the green and gold, then send it through. Darren will give you the yes or no. Again turned over high, and Seacliff again will be able to put pressure on that University defence. He's done very well with that circle entry, and it's bouncing around in there still. University will just clear it. Just get rid of it on that 45, get it away from the goal, and Mitchell will wander over and play to himself. He'll fire that one in, and Holland managed to get a stick on it, but Just bounced back out to a Seacliff player, but again Sutter shut the door. Mitchell will fire that one across and missed everyone. Ben Batts threw himself at it, trying to get something on it. Just too far in front. Adelaide Uni employing very, very high strikers as well, trying to find a little bit of space in this midfield. That's a lovely run. He's got an outlet to his left-hand side. He missed him, but they do have the circle entry, and as per usual, the accountant not allowing it to go any further.
Yeah, it was a beautiful little run by Ruben Wild to cut through the defence of Seacliff there and generate a circle entry.
He's going to have another go, and this time he will make his way to the byline, but there's Tamlin to deal with. Get the circle entry, but Seacliff can come away with it. Again, we go into one of these little Adelaide University pressure moments.
I think it's good to
Mark
see.
Usenek will want them to come away with something from these little bouts of pressure.
Yeah, and it's going to be his key, his senior players like Ruben and like Max Bale that will step up now for him. And Ruben's had a good year with 9 goals. So yeah, it's good, really good to see Ruben injecting himself into the second half.
Seacliff settle into that back three straight away, but Tamlin will get his head up on that right-hand side. Happy to come back around the horn. And he's just sent that just down the left-hand side to Matt Morton, who looked inside and manages to go and clean up his own mess. Good defending from Adelaide, but Paul Finney says it's a free hit. And Rademski will leave it to Morton, who self-plays, and then we'll fire that across, and again nobody can get a stick on it, and there's a chance for Adelaide Uni to break. He gets his head up nice and early. Eric Wild. Well,
that's Ruben's brother. Good player.
It is Erin. And they get that circle entry in again. Sutter is called upon, and again Sutter answers the question. Morton just reverses it in, and again Sutter has to work hard. Should have started counting the saves that Sutter made. He'll be into the double figures right now.
There's a real contrast between the pressure that's applied on the ball against Uni when they're in their defensive half versus how easily Seacliff have managed to stream the ball out. They've really controlled the ball tonight, haven't they, Seacliff?
They choose their moments when they go fast, when they go slow, and their high pressure is second to none. I don't think there's many teams that would be able to deal with that pressure. But, there's a reason that you are the reigning premiers. Don't become the premiers, but not playing good hockey.
Yeah, I was fortunate enough to see the Adelaide Seacliff game a few weeks ago, so top 2 game, and it was impressive to see that Seacliff were able to sustain this level of hockey at the higher tempo, which is why, Jogger will say that it's important that they finish this game out well tonight.
Cameron fires it in, and there's a little deflection on the outside from Max Menagew. Outside the circle, the sniper. So we're through 10 minutes of the second half, and Adelaide Uni have looked better. Still putting themselves under a lot of pressure. Coach has allowed the birthday boy, Jamie Kreku, to come over to this broadcast side so he can get some TV time. Adelaide Uni will go all the way back to Holland. He'll get his head up early and they'll push out to that left-hand side. It's a nice little turn, but Bird gets there first. Mitchell will just shift it out to Oliver. Oliver gets his head up early and two-touch hockey down to Rademski, who just couldn't bring it under control.
And Seacliff almost seem to be inviting Uni to feed that ball into the middle of the pitch, don't they? And then just preying on those loose turnovers.
They support each other very, very well. Nice little turn on inside, and Butler will keep working, and Adelaide Uni can get something out of this. Unfortunately, he's dispossessed high, but umpire says play on, and they'll look for this circle entry. Wild again gets to the byline. He's faced with two when they won the ball illegally. Ruben Wild, 28 years old, from Adelaide, former hotshot. He's played in the grand final with Seacliff and won it. It's a Masters in Architecture. And a golf handicap of 4. That one is fired in. Mitchell gets a stick on it but turns it over. There'll be a long corner.
Good to see Uni now starting to get a couple of inside 25 and circle entries. Important that they start to really, try and keep this Seacliff defence under some pressure for a sustained period of time. But you see 11 Seacliff players behind the ball there. They're a really good team defensive unit.
And then when they get the ball, you'll see them stretch and get that high striker going. And they work really, really hard to get in front of the ball carrier. Oliver again will look to take on Zach Barch. Oliver will carry and take on Butler, and Butler brings him down. A little bit of discussion between Oliver and Butler. Friday night hockey, it might be cold, but it's heating up. Butler's now taking it on himself to just tag Oliver for a little bit. Try and get under his skin to get him off his game.
Yeah, and I reckon Alan would be a good man for that job. He's a very fit, athletic guy, will run and probably be able to stay with Al in both terms of fitness and in terms of yap, I would have thought.
Interesting little battle. We'll try and keep an eye on it. They've left each other alone. Mitchell will just come back to Tamlin. Gets his head up again early. Gets his head up before he even receives the ball, Tamlin. So he gets a picture of what he wants and where everything is, and he knows exactly what he wants to do when he wants to do it. That's a lovely move down to that baseline. He's still going, and he'll fire that one across. Oh, miss everything. Someone did mention at half time, and there's a large amount of man buns being sported by the Adelaide University side. Completely jealous, obviously. My ability to grow a man bun is gone. Went a fair while ago as well, I'm afraid, Darren. Holland will get his head up and look to pick a pass. Cut out by Rademski. He never came in. See Dan Mitchell. Midfield general for Seacliff. There's not a lot that happens that doesn't go through him.
No, and I think you see Dan now running through the midfield. You know, sometimes he'll run through the attack, and a lot of versatility in the Seacliff side, which is, I think, you know, one of the reasons why they've been able to survive.
And Mitchell will have a swing, and they'll get a short corner out of it. So Dan Mitchell, not only does he roam the midfield for Seacliff Tigers, he's also an umpire. We'll see him on the odd Friday night with the whistle in hand, but he's also the state pathway coach. If you want somebody to show the youth of today to become the legends of tomorrow, Dan Mitchell is probably a good man to have at the helm of that. He's set up again. Good trap, and there's the drag flick. Good stick on it from Adelaide University, and they can break now. They do have the extra man, but they've got to get going quickly. Wild will find Wild, and Wild just couldn't trap it, and will give away the free hit. Good high pressure from Adelaide. Ed Dyson up there making the tackle. So if you mark Usanek as we get into the last 10 minutes of this game, not conceding in the second half will be a big plus for him.
Yeah, it'll be you know, be interesting to know what they spoke about at half time, but you know, I think they've just got to throw everything they can at Seacliff, really, don't they, and try and come away from this with, you know, with a goal or two.
And your red pen's got more of a workout in the second half. Red pen for Uni and the blue pen for Seacliff, and red pen finally came out after half time.
It did. Still a lot more blue on the page, but we're seeing a bit of red now.
And these are good signs for Adelaide Uni. Mitchell has now moved to that high striker and will put that front line pressure on, but Adelaide have managed to pass their way around it. Nice turn from Michael Brooks, but unfortunately he turns into the accountant. It's a short pass, but again the accountant he's impassable.
He's certainly a quality player, Glyn.
He looks like he's going to come and have a breather as we see him make his way to have a well-earned rest.
No man bun for Glyn either.
No man bun for Glyn. I'm sure he'll love you for saying that, Darren. Mitchell couldn't get that under control. Again, they turn it over, and Mitchell will move to the centre and look for that, and he's managed to turn it around, and he'll just put the keeper down. Sutter's done very, very well. He's not giving up, and neither is Mitchell. It's still there, it's still bouncing around. Adelaide Uni will manage to clear it.
He could taste that hat trick.
He could. I think he would have fought his own teammates at that point. But again, Sutter did very, very well. He's kept Adelaide University, and he's kept the score somewhat reasonable. Ben Batts with a wonderful interception, and he'll make his way, and Mitchell is there again and calling for it. Good challenge, it'll just be a long corner. Sutter just made it impossible for anybody to do anything with it. And did well not to concede the short corner. So that one is fired in, and again Seacliff will not let anybody break out, and that's found its way through to Oliver, and Oliver will score on the tomahawk, and that will be 5. And Sutter finally gives up one. They've been knocking and knocking and knocking, and finally they managed their way to break through. Mitchell with a great ball through. Again, Oliver finding the gap on that near post. So Seacliff winning this one at the moment quite comfortably, 5-0. Been relentless, they've been like a dog with a bone. They just will not allow Adelaide to sit on it. They're going to get another circle entry, and Mitchell is there at the back. And Sutter will turn that one now. It's just missed, so it will go out for a 16-yard hit.
You know, I think what I've liked about these last couple of inside circle entries from Seacliff is just the way that they've remained composed, shifted the ball from stick to stick, and again, that's exactly what Mark DeLauro will be looking for from his team, is to maintain that high-quality hockey, regardless of the score.
Both teams need to play this game like it's 0-0 right now.
Yeah, for different reasons.
Yeah.
You know, Uni be looking to keep their season on track and keep some optimism ahead for the second half of the year. Whereas Seacliff, you know, they're now in the mode of honing their game, you know, for a finals campaign, and with new personnel in the back four. So yeah, it's important for them to maintain discipline and go through the game and follow the process.
Mitchell manages to bring that one under control. Oliver again. Doesn't like giving up that ball. Maybe he didn't have many toys as a child, so when he gets one, he doesn't want to give it away. Adamski will turn that out to Mitchell. Mitchell will find Oliver. He'll throw that in field and found its way to the back, and he misses again. So it's starting to take shape now. Top four of Seacliff, Adelaide Hockey Club, the Peas. Port Adelaide are in third place and Forestville are in fourth, but Grange Royals are there and thereabouts. Only 2 points behind.
So a real crunch round this round. You know, we've got Forestville Burnside, Port Adelaide Grange, and then North East Woodville. These are all three key games, these remaining men's games of this weekend, as the final four is very open. And you know, the Grange Port Adelaide game for me.
Adelaide will get the circle entry, and unfortunately it's just behind him, and that will go away. Forestville have a game in hand on Grange, so they can move away, but they have 2 games in hand on Port Adelaide, so they can really start to push into that third position. Adelaide and Seacliff looking as if they're going to go through to that double chance spot. But there's still a lot of hockey to go, still a lot of water to go under a lot of bridges. Again, Seacliff will go out to that right-hand side, and Mitchell again will look for it, and he's not sure whether he got a touch, and there is the touch, and that has gone in. Yep, finally we get the signal. Ben Batts with the last touch. I think we'll have a look at the replay, but I'm pretty sure it was Ben Batts. But Mitchell again was in there, and he got a touch on it, and then Batts just knocks it through the legs. So Dylan Broad is asking why is Luke Hunter not playing. We're not sure. We only get the team lists that are in front of us. We don't get much chance to speak to the coaches or managers. So
I believe Luke's away for a few weeks with work.
right. Been a relatively simple night at the office for Seacliff. We enter the last 10 minutes.
It's been an impressive performance, hasn't it? I mean, they don't really look like they've been stretched too much tonight.
They certainly look like they've got gears in reserve. They're playing within themselves. Mitchell puts the pressure on, and we'll get Oliver, and Oliver will work across to Mitchell, and Mitchell will get his hat trick, and he'll go horizontal, and there's that forehand goal. So he's got all three, but a flying Dan Mitchell puts it in the back post, and will get his hat trick. So we have a look at that replay. I'm sure that will be frozen by somebody and screenshotted, and look at that's the kind of desperation. That's desperate for that third goal, and he gets it. Well done, Daniel Mitchell.
that pressure leading up to that turnover by Dan in the press, was really what brought that turnover about. And then Al Oliver, as we know, quality, pounces on the loose ball, and Mitty just finishes it off. I think he had a smile on his face as he was diving.
Yeah, I don't think Al Oliver, if he was wicked, he would have gone himself, because he also is on a hat trick tonight. So Mitchell's got his first. It's a nice turn inside from Kreku, and he's going to keep going. Battle's hard, but Uni can come away from it. And Big Loud, and I did think we were going to see him go to his pocket, because there was a break on there. Cynical.
There's a chance now for Uni to capitalise on Seacliff having
extra
10
player, but it does look like Seacliff have had an extra player all night tonight, to be honest. Again, we see it almost turned over. Adelaide University can work away and just haven't been able to get the stick on the ball. Simon Jones, the number 8 back there, has toiled hard along with Holland.
Yeah, so we just saw the replay there of Geordie Kiddo's card. And I think the rule is, if you tackle from the wrong side and the player's brought to the ground, then it's always going to be a card, and generally often a yellow card.
And now Mitchell's got his hat trick. He's flinging himself down into the back. Here is Oliver, he'll get his head up. He's also on a hat trick, and he'll just keep going. He beats one. Just got away from him a bit though. Lazy little run, and tried to dump it out. Lots of time and lots of space. Now this game is really starting to open up as we get to the last 5 minutes. Oliver will get his head up and go all the way back to Radomski. Down into Bird, and Bird will flick it into that corner. And another short corner.
That's the third corner of the second half. 8 in total now for Seacliff tonight.
I'm sure that Al Oliver will be putting his hand up in this huddle and saying, here we go.
Pick me.
Yeah. So Matt Morton is the highest, but Lucky Bosico. I think that Dan Mitchell is taking himself right the way up to the top of this lead of the top goal scorers with the 3 goals tonight. And Al Oliver will also need the 3 just to keep with him. So there's a personal battle between those two. Just couldn't get that one under control. A strong challenge in the middle. Mr. Butler, he won't pull out much, will he? That one will go all the way through and be a 16-yard hit. Al Oliver needs another goal to stay on par with Dan Mitchell. They've both overtaken Mr. Bosico though tonight. It's a nice little turn, unfortunately just couldn't get away.
We've got Geordie back out on the pitch now, so it's 11 on 11 again. You see the versatility of the Seacliff group here now with Lockie Buzzico going back to fullback, having played centre mid for most of the game. We've seen Dan Mitchell float through all 3 lines.
And we're going to have another attempt here, and it's a little bit of an airy. Oliver again will pick it up and he'll find Mitchell, and Mitchell will strike a goal and he will just miss. And Sutter had it covered though. Go back all the way back to the 1970s and the Dutch football team, and they created total football. I think we're seeing total hockey from Seacliff, where somebody leaves a space, anybody can go and fill it. All capable of playing in any position. They've been absolutely dominant tonight, and that 7-0 scoreline shows that.
I think it's it's something that they would enjoy doing tonight, is getting to play through different lines, and that will aid them as they come into the finals, having that flexibility.
Bax will get his head up and he'll make a good circle entry, and that's pulled back, and Oliver will get in there, he'll strike a goal, and Oliver will get his hat-trick. So they will stay level in the goal scoring charts, Mitchell and Oliver. Still time for one of them to just get their nose in front by the end of this one. Cameron Joyce from Port Adelaide sits atop the goal scoring charts. Talk about short corners. His 100k an hour drag flick means that he's probably going to get a fair few goals. Mr. Joyce and Mr. Wilson now have company, and Daniel Mitchell and Al Oliver. Fired down the line and finally makes its way through to University stick, and Wild will just look to push it through. So Ed Dyson just couldn't get it, and again Seacliff shut it down. Talk about how impressive Seacliff have been tonight. 8 goals in the lead, still playing like it's 0-0 with just under 3 minutes to play. Al Oliver gets his head up and turned it over.
Yeah, some really high quality goals. I mean, 2 corner goals out of the 8 and 6 field goals. That last finish by Al Oliver, one touch hockey, got the shot away straight into the corner of the net. So really high quality attacking hockey by Seacliff.
They've been incredibly impressive, and not only have they been impressive going forward, they've been miserly at the back. Adelaide University have had some moments of pressure, but I don't think that Lachlan Cooper has had a save to make. I don't think we've seen Cooper do much all night. If I was Mark Delora, I'd just get him to run a couple of laps so he feels like he's done something tonight.
Mikey Wells.
Is that Mikey Wells, not Lachlan Cooper?
No, Mikey. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, but if you watch Mikey tonight, he's had nothing to do in terms of direct play, but he's still out there talking, organising the defence, and it's ultimately that defence in depth that helps Seacliff be so miserly. If you stop things outside the 25, then you don't have to make those saves, and I think that's what Mikey's really good at doing.
And it has been, it's been impressive. We are waxing lyrical a little bit about Seacliff, but we can't undersell how good they have been tonight. We look at a completely different back three to the one we saw not too long ago, as Mitchell will look for number 4 and he'll swing and miss, and the deflection is put in.
Like Batsy.
I think that is Ben Batts has got one. That's his second of the night. So they're sharing the goals, and they have, I think that could be close to it, but Mitchell was hungry for 4. Batts was in the right place at the right time. We talk about that sweet spot just in front of the goalkeeper where those deflections go. Less than a minute and they're still running and looking for space and looking for overlaps, and they're not. And now he's deflected in. No, I'm not sure.
Might have come off the opposition stick, did it?
That one is fired in, and that is allowed. So on the last one, Lachlan Brussico turns it into 10. Well,
that's an impressive.
It's an impressive display. I mean, we talked then, and bear in mind as well, we were 10 minutes into the second half, and Adelaide University had really done very well and managed to keep the score scoreless in the second half. And we talked about whether Seacliff had extra gears, and they just dropped a gear. They're like a car in the Fast and the Furious. They seem to have 17 gears.
Yeah, it was an impressive, I mean, statistically, 25 circle entries for Seacliff in the second half, so they upped their rate from 17 to 25 for a total of 42 to 10. Shots 16, so they had more shots, and finish off with the 6 goals to 4.
So join us for the second game of the night, Adelaide University versus Seacliff. That one is a top of the table clash. Adelaide University sitting in second behind Port Adelaide, Seacliff sitting in third, so a big match for both of these teams. Make sure you follow us for that one, and we'll speak to you very, very shortly.